What's up guys, I'm Nathan and in this video I'll be showing you guys the updated anime adventures tier list for the new raid update where we got a couple of new Dragon Ball characters. It's also going to include the second part of the Fairy Tail update which I missed due to exams, which are still going on by the way, so I might be a bit late for the next update as well. But anyway guys, S tier is going to be for the characters that are meta and kind of close to meta. There's probably going to be a bunch of characters in S tier because I voted for where you want me to put Miriam and you said Miriam should still be in S, so yeah. A tier is going to be for very good characters, B tier is going to be for okay characters or rather very good for beginners, C tier is going to be for okay for beginners, and D tier is going to be bad even for beginners. Trunks is going to be a solid A tier, probably mid because honestly I would not say he's the best because yes, he does have full AoE and he does have good DPS at least by previous standards, around 2650 at level 70, but it is basically a Gildarts but worse. Gildarts instantly like breaks all shields, and he's got basically the same full AoE, and he just has way more DPS, around 3100 or around 3000, which is just so much better. Perfect Cell is one of the new units we got. Honestly, he's insanely good. He's a heal unit and he's going to be damaging with a really good DPS. That's going to be around 3300 with a good AoE as well. And he's got some 36 range, which is definitely not too bad. Then we have ERZA Lightning, who's going to be the Hail variant of ERZA Scarlet. Basically I would say she's a bit worse than Cell. She does have more range, but I would say slightly worse AoE or maybe similar AoE. And she's got slightly lesser DPS if my calculations are correct, though it is pretty hard to get the perfect DPS since obviously the stats change. So I'm just gonna go and put them next to each other. Then we have ERZA Valkyrie, who's like just an insanely high raw DPS unit. These are air units, obviously they're going to be helpful on Hollow, but in the other maps like the ground units are going to be your main thing. And she does insane amounts of DPS. It's already very high, and additionally she also has a 50% chance to crit. So overall her DPS is around 4200, which I've not seen any other characters that go above that aren't summoners, so that's amazing. Then we have this character, legendary from the previous update, honestly really good for beginners. ERZA Trueheart is like the bleeding variant of ERZA. Gonna go ahead and put her in like mid to low S. I would say she's like Pito, but maybe slightly better or worse, sort of equal to Pito. I would put her. They both like bleed, so obviously it's helpful against regen. But yeah, not as high DPS as most of the other units, and it's not really useful for anything other than regen. Lelouch is going to be right about there. He does have mind control, so that's something. So he's like a better Whitebeard. He also summons with like a pretty decent HP, but the keyword here is summons, and summoners are kind of bad. Then we have Natsu, who's going to be a very solid S tier. Natsu basically is going to be able to burn the units, which is literally absolutely essential against the current like the Fairy Tail map where you have those ice mages, which literally you don't know damage to them with anything other than a burning unit. So burning units are absolutely essential. I'm gonna go and put him like pretty high up. Then we have Jeliel, who's gonna be right there. Jeliel does similar damage to ERZA, but I would say slightly worse. Still pretty good unit. Then we have Ace. He burns, obviously good in the new map, but then again his burn damage is nothing compared to the HP. Then we have this dude, don't really need to explain myself. Future Gohan, leaderboard unit, I mean nothing much to say about him. Eren, summoner, not one of the best legendaries, wouldn't really recommend it. Genos is right there. Sanji's pretty cheap to place down. Piccolo has decent range. Then we have Levi over here. He's gonna be right there. He does have a chance to crit, and he does have a reasonable DPS, but it's very outdated, and his AoE is still really small, so he's gonna be bottom A tier. Then we have Speedwagon gonna be right there. Money unit obviously is helpful, even if it's not the legendary. Then we have Akenu, he's pretty good actually. He's a burner, so I would definitely give him more priority in A tier, but he was not buffed, so yeah. Then we have a Crocodile, who's gonna be honestly not terrible. Then we have Zenitsu. We have what's his face? Kite. Kite is, well, he's just not the most reliable unit. Kite basically has constantly changing attack mechanics. One of them is insanely good, it's just that, well, actually it's not insanely good. The characters in ST are way better than even his best one. Frenzy, I would say, is gonna be the best variant, and his attack mechanics itself, there's only one with really big AoE, but there's a pretty low chance of getting that attack mechanic. Fun character, but definitely not the best. Then we have Gray. Gray is, I would say, still definitely meta because, you know, that freeze, it's obviously really helpful, and his DPS is also quite amazing. We have Gara, who's gonna be, like, I would say, low C tier because he does stun. We have Pito, who, like I said, I would put her kind of equal. I think she does also have a chance of critting, but I'll just put them sort of equal. Trafalgar Law, we have, he's gonna be, I would say, here because he does do good DPS for an epic, it's just that he's single target. Erwin is obviously, he's like the character that would never get outdated, so I'll just go ahead and put him at the top. Like, Erwin will not get outdated because the more characters you use, the more helpful he is, and he's obviously going to be more useful than every character combined because he's giving you a 25% buff that you can constantly keep going, and it's obviously going to be really, really helpful. We have Whitebeard, who is Lelouch, but worse. Then we have Blackbeard, who I am moving down as requested. He is now going to be in A tier because, well, yeah, fine, fair enough. Like, his curse is not the most consistent. At least Erwin is very consistent, but agreed, this dude's curse is not that consistent. But still, it is a buff, so yeah, I would say it deserves an A tier. Then we have Goku Black, good AoE, garbage damage. Mihawk, decent damage, but garbage AoE. Then we have Sakura, honestly bottom A tier. Like, she is obviously easy to get, and you don't even need to worry about buffing because she's automatically gonna buff your units by 10%. Obviously this isn't meta, but if you have good units, then, well, she's gonna be more helpful than individual units. So I would say she's definitely a decent character. Then we have Giorno, not too bad. He used to be really good for story, but he's now outdated by most of the new ones. Goku Blue is also okay. I would not put him down in C tier. We have Josuke, who's going to be right here. All Might, I would say, is S tier, but I'm going to go ahead and put him a lot lower. He does have knockback, but I don't think it works on bosses. We have Rengoku's Evolution, who I will actually go ahead and put in low S tier because, well, burning, it burns, okay? Burning burns, and like I said, it's really good against those ice mages. That's why burn units, I would say, have some priority here. Then we have Renzi, who's gonna be like, actually he's not even that good. I'll put him right there. Akaza is not too bad actually, I'll go ahead and put him in B tier. We have Grimjaw, who is right there. He's also quite decent, but not the best AoE. Then we have Freezer right there, I would say. We have Akaza Destruction, who I would say should go right about there. He does self-buff as well, which is not too bad. We have Netero, who is pretty good actually, but his DPS is definitely outclassed by most of the newer units. We have Killua, who I'm actually gonna still go ahead and put in S tier. He does have a very fast SPA, and he's also going to be able to stun the enemies, which I would say is definitely still helpful. This is the regular version of Kisuke, which is why I'm gonna go and put him only in bottom 8 tier, because, well, just the mythical and not the secret version of Kisuke is quite bad. Then we have Mirum, who you guys did request, so I'll go and put him right there, bottom S tier. Then we have Gon, a pretty good character to get because you can actually evolve him into the mythical version and further evolve that. Then you have Lucy, who is a strong summoner, I must say. It's just that, well, yeah, it's not enough to put her in S tier. Now, she does do insane DPS, and she is summoning multiple units that do have AoE and essentially infinite range. It's just that she can't spam summon. It's like she only will summon once her summons, well, die. And that's something that's really not that great. Additionally, like I said, the AoE is terrible. So yeah, Todoroki right there. I mean, he does freeze, so yeah. Tatara is gonna be right about next to Rengoku, I would say, because of that burn. Then we have Eren Founder, who I would say is like right next to Lelouch. Broly got buffed, so honestly, I would say that if we're putting Mirum in S, okay, I won't put Broly in S. Like, his DPS is way too outdated for that. Yeah, fair enough. Like, even after the buff, it was only like a 15% buff. So I'm not gonna go and put him in S. That would be pretty dumb. But he does hit air now, and with that full AoE, that's not terrible on the hollow map. So I'll actually put him in a pretty solid top A tier. Then you have this Killua is pretty garbage. Jozu is, I would not say is any longer in S tier. So Jozu is gonna go down there because Pito is just a better bleeder, and so is ERZA Trueheart. So yeah, I'm gonna go and put him right there. Then we have what's his face? We have Madara, who was buffed, except I don't know how much he was buffed. So I'll just go and put him right there. Like, I'm not sure about his buff because I haven't really seen his stats. I didn't bother getting him. Then we have Kaneki, who does bleed, so I'll just go and put him in B tier because, I mean, he's the only legendary that bleeds, if I'm not mistaken. Ito self-buffs and has very outdated DPS, so gonna be mid A tier. Gonna go and put her right about there. Yeah, I would say that's pretty fair. Then we have Bulma, gives money. Kakyoin has good AoE, sort of, for an epic anyway. Then we have Blue Devil, basically Future Gohan, but not Future Gohan. They're both leaderboard units. Then we have Shanks, who is actually still okay, I guess. I mean, he does sort of time stop, so I would say that definitely warrants an S tier. Ulquiorra was buffed, so he now has competent damage once again. I'll go ahead and put him, like, I would say low-ish S tier. Then we have Luffy, who's, yeah, he's terrible. Then we have the evolved Kisuke, who is, yeah, he's good because he's gonna be buffing all of your stats, so it's obviously still gonna be really helpful. Then we have Naruto, who was buffed, but he's still pretty garbage. I'll put him right there. Then we have Uryu, who is okay. He does hit air, but I mean, you guys know how much competition there is for air now. I would say even Broly is gonna be better than Uryu just because of that full AoE. Hisoka, I'm gonna go and put him in like bottom S tier because he does slow and stun, and he's just a really good legendary. Rukia, I'm gonna say, is also like a really low S tier just because of the support. Aizen, he pushes the enemies back, but it hardly gives you even one extra wave, and that and you can't really use it multiple times in a match because it's just not useful, and his DPS is not really going to be adding much. Honestly, I would say even Hisoka and Rukia, I'll just move them down to A tier. They are good, but I would say that it's just not worth the loss of DPS just to get that support. Like, Karakuri is doing your slowness, but it's also, at least, it's not a terrible loss of DPS. Then we have Arima, who's gonna be right there, I would say. Like, even after Ulquiorra's buff, like, I would say Arima's still decent as a DPS unit. Then we have Overhaul, who should be around here. I mean, he kind of, he gets a bigger AoE, but his SPA becomes worse when you upgrade him. Kizaru is an air unit, I would say he's like C. Diavolo was buffed, but he's still kind of bad. So I'm gonna go and put him like sort of there. Like, I mean, he's not terrible now. At least his ability is a bit more viable because enemies will take like a bit more damage, but it's just that you can't really use it much. You can barely use it anytime. So then you have Gon, who I would say is still a very, very solid DPS unit. Gonna go and put him right there because, yeah, he's still full AoE. Now he might have like literally 1/3 of ERZA Valkyrie's DPS, but full AoE, so yeah. Then we have Rengoku. This is just the mythic version, like the unevolved version. So honestly, that's literally gonna be the C tier, top C tier. Dio is still, I would say is still really, really helpful. I'm gonna put him a lot lower now but he's still really good, especially for beginners and challenges. And that auto time stop definitely could be used. Then you have this legendary is slightly worse than the other one. I would say just about below that. Then you have Ichigo, who is like one of the easy to get secrets. Then you have Armin, who was buffed, but can you really call it a buff since it was trash? But you know what, I'll move Armin up from C tier to like lower, like I would say B tier, because yeah, I mean Armin's DPS now is definitely competent compared to these legendaries, plus he does have full AoE, so I would say this is a fair spot for Armin. Kakashi is bad because for the main reason that he's really expensive and doesn't give you much. Coyote Stark, I'm actually gonna move him a lot lower now because I just don't feel like his DPS is as competent as it used to be. So I'm just gonna go and put him right about there, because ERZA Valkyrie, in my opinion, totally replaces him now. Even Gone, I would say, is probably better. Like, he does do a lot of damage, he does have exploding wolves, but like his DPS is getting outdated, guys. Then we have Karakuri, as I mentioned earlier. Definitely a very good support. Gonna go and put him right there. Then we have Pain, who's gonna be right there. He pushes the enemies back, basically Walmart All Might. You have this dude who's gonna time stop manually if you want to time stop manually. Then you have Itachi, who is around here, I would say. He's an air unit, so that's not terrible. We have this dude, Dabi, who's one of the worst legendaries, so I would not recommend you get him. We have Naruto, who, I mean, okay, he's just fodder. Naruto and Zeke are literally just fodder, though Zeke actually has good range. Then we have Noro, who is not too bad actually. I would say he would be right about there. And Toka should also be around here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my tier list. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any disagreements, let me know in the comments, and I'll be posting a poll in case I do feel like whatever you're saying has merit. You can also join my Discord server if you want to. I'll leave the link in the description, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.